If you are looking for a good trade setup to trade this week, this weekly forex analysis is for you. The dollar index on my weekly chart closed above this resistance level, indicating more bullish trend for the dollar index to this next resistance level. So what we expect this week, we expect price to retest this particular resistance, then we'll see a push to this next resistance. So we expect the dollar index to continue its bullish movement this week. So let's look at the daily chart of the dollar index. On my daily chart, you can see that we have lower low, higher low, higher low, which is a bullish trend on the daily chart, which indicates we expect a strong bullish move this coming week for the dollar index to the next weekly resistance level, which is we expect price to retest these levels, then we'll see price push it higher to the weekly resistance level. So let's look at our next pair, which is the EURUSD. Let's start from the weekly chart. EURUSD also converted this support into resistance level. Then we also have a double top on the EURUSD on the weekly chart, which indicates reversal of price to this next weekly support level. So what we expect now, we expect price to do a retest. Of this support, this previous support, which is now resistance. Then price resuming downtrend to this next support level. So if price break this support level, we might see a retest, then we'll see further push to the downside. So this is what we expect EURUSD to do this week. So let's look at the daily chart of EURUSD. On my daily chart, EURUSD have this downtrend structure. You can see that we have a higher high, we have a lower high, which indicates possible downtrend, a strong downtrend for the EURUSD. So let's look at this our trend line. You can see that we have this trend line connected to three swing levels, and you can also see that price has closed below this trend line, which indicates also a strong downtrend for the EURUSD. So what we expect now, we need price to do a retest of these weekly levels, then we'll see further sell for the EURUSD to the downside. So look out for your selling opportunity on the EURUSD this coming week. Let's look at our next pair, which is the GBPUSD. Let's start from the weekly chart. The GBPUSD on my weekly chart still remain on a sideways trend. You can see that we have a higher high, a lower high. So we have this sideways trend. So what we expect to the GBPUSD this week, price also converted this previous support into resistance. You also converted this support into resistance. So we expect price this week to continue to push towards this support level. If price fail to break this support level, we might be seeing price zooming uptrend. But if price fail, we might be seeing more push to the downside. So we expect more bearish trend for the GBPUSD this week. So let's look at the daily chart of the GBPUSD. On my daily chart, you can see that the GBPUSD have a higher high, then lower high, which indicates strong downtrend momentum. You can also see that price also break out of my three swing trend line, which also indicates more downtrend momentum for the GBPUSD. So let's go back to our weekly chart. On the GBPUSD, we have this resistance at this area, which we expect price to retest back to before we start looking for our selling opportunity. So we expect price to retest this resistance before we start looking for our selling opportunity on the daily chart. So look at your price on setup for you to sell the GBPUSD to the downside on the daily chart. So let's look at our next pair, which is the Australia USD. Let's start from the weekly chart. Australia USD on my weekly chart see have a uptrend structure. You can see that we have a lower low, higher low, higher low, which indicates a bullish move for the Australia USD. Now, last week price closed on the resistance level. You can see that's what led to this drop. If you watch my previous video, I said so long this Australia USD closed on weekly resistance, we expect price to drop to this next support level. So price have dropped to this support level now, and when price dropped to this support level, we also converted this support into resistance, which indicates there must be a retest of this support before start looking for selling opportunities to the downside. So we expect the Australia USD to do a retest of these levels, then we'll start looking for possible selling opportunity to the downside. So let's go to our daily chart. So on my daily chart, you can see clearly that we have a higher high and a lower high, which indicates shift in trend. So what we expect now, we need this retest, then we'll first start looking for major sell for the Australia USD. So we're waiting for this retest, then we'll first start looking for a major sell on the Australia USD this week. So let's look at our next pair, which is the gold USD. Gold USD still remain uptrend. You can see from our weekly chart, we see have a strong structure for uptrend movement, but I'm still expecting price to come to this weekly support level before I can start looking for any possible buying opportunity. Then for the sell scenario, if I can see a series of lower high, lower high, and a lower high, might start looking for possible selling opportunity for the gold USD. But now our scenario still remain uptrend. So let's look at the daily chart of the gold USD. So on the gold USD, you can see that we still have a strong bullish momentum for uptrend. So we have to look out for more buying opportunity on the gold USD, but buy from a significant level. The only significant level I see, this is my weekly significant level, but price still far from that significant level. So let's look at our next pair, which is the USDJPY. Let's start our analysis from the weekly chart. USDJPY from my weekly still remains strong bullish. We have a lower low, we have a higher low, higher low, higher low, higher low. This indicates a strong bullish movement for the USDJPY, indicating price to this next resistance level. So what we expect this week, price converted this support, this resistance into support. Price also converted the resistance into support. So price also converted this resistance into support. So what we expect now, we need price to do a retest of this level that was converted to support. Retest of these levels, then we'll first start looking for possible buying opportunity for the USDJPY. So we expect price to retest, then we'll start looking for buying opportunity to the top side. So let's look at the daily chart of the USDJPY. So on my daily chart, you can also see that we also have a good structure for bullish momentum. We have a lower low, higher low, higher low, higher low, higher low, higher low, higher low, which indicates strong bullish momentum for the USDJPY. And you can also see that price has closed above a major level on the daily chart, and price also closed above this our 3-touch swing level trend line, which indicates we expect price to do a retest of this. Yes, a retest of this level, then we'll start looking for buying opportunity for the USDJPY to the top. So look for your buying opportunity on the USDJPY this week. If you find this weekly analysis helpful, like this video and subscribe to our channel for more trading tips and forex analysis. See you in my next video.